So today we're diving into one of the most, and I mean most, incredible medical stories you'll probably ever hear. It's all about a woman named Jo Cameron and a tiny glitch in her genes that might, just might, hold the key to ending human suffering itself. Pretty wild, right? Let's get into it.
Okay, I want you to just picture this scene for a second. An emergency room. A woman walks in, calm as can be, and pulls a 3-inch kitchen knife out of her own chest. And she's not screaming, she's not in shock, she seems more confused than hurt. No pain at all. I know, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but this really happened. And it was the very first clue to a medical mystery that is just mind-blowing. So the obvious question here is how, right? How is that even possible? How can a person go through something that traumatic and feel, well, nothing? The answer, it turns out, is buried deep, deep inside her DNA. And trust me, it's a whole lot stranger than you can possibly imagine.
So, before we get into the nitty-gritty science, we really need to understand the person at the center of all this. Let's talk about Jo Cameron, the woman who became the key to this incredible discovery. Now, get this. For 65 years, 6.5 decades, Jo Cameron just thought she was normal. She had no idea she was different. Nobody did. Not her family, not her doctors, not even Jo herself. All the signs were there, hiding in plain sight, but everyone just chalked it up to her having a really, really high pain tolerance.
I mean, let's just look at the trail of clues she left behind her whole life. As a kid, she broke her arm, looked at it, and just calmly told her parents it looked a little weird. No tears, nothing. As an adult, she gave birth without any pain meds and later said it was just, uncomfortable. She was literally burn herself on the stove, and the only way she'd notice is by the smell of her own flesh. But the real tipping point, the moment everything changed, was when she was 65. She had this major hip surgery, and afterwards, she felt zero pain. None. That's when her doctors were like, okay, hold on. Something is very, very different here.
Yeah, her surgeon was so completely baffled by this that he sent her straight to a team of geneticists. And what they found buried in her DNA? Well, it was something they thought was impossible. A discovery that was about to flip our whole understanding of pain completely on its head.
Okay, so the secret ingredient here is a chemical called anandamide. You've probably never heard of it, but your brain is making it right now. Its nickname is the bliss molecule, and for a very good reason. It's the stuff that makes you feel good. It naturally reduces pain, and it keeps your anxiety levels down. The best way to think of it, it's basically your body's own built-in, all-natural cannabis. All right, so for you and me, the process is pretty straightforward. Our body produces this awesome bliss molecule, anandamide, but there's a catch. Another chemical, an enzyme called FAAH, comes along and just gets rid of it almost instantly. It breaks it down super fast. So that good feeling, that relief, it's temporary. It's just a quick boost, not something that sticks around.
But here's where it gets crazy with Jo. She has this tiny, tiny mutation in her genetic code. A little error in a gene called FAAH-OUT. And what does it do? It means her body doesn't make that cleanup enzyme at all. So the anandamide just builds up and keeps on building. Her system is absolutely flooded with this bliss molecule 24/7. She is, for all intents and purposes, in a permanent, natural state of bliss.
So here's the really bizarre part. It's not that her nerves are broken. They work just fine. When she gets hurt, her body sends the signal to her brain, loud and clear. Ouch, this is bad, pay attention. Her brain gets the message and then just completely ignores it. It's like her brain's inbox is so overflowing with these feel-good bliss molecules that the pain signals just look like spam. It just marks them as junk and sends them straight to the trash, unopened.
Now I know what you're thinking. Wow, a life without pain? Sign me up. But it's not the superpower you'd think it is. Not even close. In fact, her condition is the perfect example of a double-edged sword. It's part miracle, for sure, but it's also part life-threatening curse.
Let's break that down. The danger, the curse, is pretty obvious. We're talking about unnoticed third-degree burns. Her hip got so bad it was basically catastrophic bone-on-bone damage, all because she never felt those early warning aches and pains. Pain is your body's fire alarm, and hers is just permanently switched off. But then you look at the other side, the superpower. The woman scored a literal 0 on a clinical anxiety test. Her wounds heal way, way faster than normal. And get this, she's basically immune to opioid addiction. It's this unbelievable paradox.
So, of course, a discovery like this doesn't stay in a lab.
It sent shockwaves through the scientific community. It kicked off this huge global race. Researchers all over the world realized that if they could just figure out how to replicate what's happening in her DNA, well, they could change medicine as we know it forever.
I mean, the possibilities are just staggering. Just think about it for a second. A potential end to the opioid crisis with a painkiller that's not addictive. A real, actual solution for chronic pain that destroys millions of lives. A new wave of anxiety meds that don't have all those nasty side effects. A way to help people bounce back from major surgery in record time. This isn't just an improvement, it's the Holy Grail.
But it's never that simple, is it? Of course, there's a twist. When scientists tried to copy this in the lab, things got messy. See, it turns out Jo doesn't just have one magic mutation. She has a unique combination of them that creates this perfect, delicate balance. When they tried to just delete the pain gene in mice, some of them developed serious immune system problems. Others lost all fear entirely. And I'm talking about the good kind of fear, the kind that stops you from doing something incredibly stupid, like walking into traffic. And it makes you wonder, what if pain and anxiety aren't actually bugs in our system? What if they're essential features?
And that question takes us right out of the science lab and into a really, really big philosophical debate. Let's say we figure it out. We perfect the technology and we create a switch that can turn off suffering. The next question isn't can we, it's should we?
I mean, really think about that for a second. A life without any physical pain sounds great, until you realize you might not know your appendix is about to burst. A life without anxiety sounds peaceful. But would you ever feel the motivation to study for that big exam? Or have the healthy caution you need to avoid real danger? Is a life completely free of those things actually a better life?
You know, maybe the most powerful perspective on this comes from the only person who actually knows what it's like, Jo Cameron herself. She said that people always tell her how lucky she is, but she wonders what she's missing. She feels like everyone else gets to experience life in higher definition, both the good parts and the bad. And her own words are just haunting. She said, "Sometimes I wonder if I'm actually alive or just watching life happen."
And that, really, is the ultimate question this whole story leaves us with. Our pain, our struggles, our anxieties, they're not just random inconveniences. They shape who we are. They teach us lessons. They connect us to each other. So if we had a magic switch to just erase all of that, to edit out a fundamental part of what it means to be human, what would we even be at the end of it?